everybody. Sorry for the late start. Technical difficulties. As far as I'm concerned, it's Cox Internet's problem and not our issue. But we're back. Happy Wind Down Wednesday, everybody. I've missed you. I've missed Courtney the most, though.
Hi,
So, yeah,
back in town.
This is going to be a very Courtney-centered episode. She is the star of the show tonight. So I think we have a really fun Wind Down Wednesday in store for you guys. It's lit down here in New Orleans. So, we had all of our fun during Mardi Gras, and now it's time for some of us to dry out a little bit until Easter, or at least the end of February. So in just a little bit, we're going to be showing you guys a couple of mocktails. I took some of our favorite Disney cocktail recipes and decided to make them sugar and alcohol-free for Lent. And my taste tester today said they were delicious. So I feel like I did a pretty good job with those. But we'll go, once again, I'm Keels, NOLA Disney Mama, that's Courtney. We are two friends, and we are part of the Crescent Lake Club. We like to say we're Framily because we're friends who are like family. We love all things food and drink, travel, and Disney. And so usually that's what we come on Wednesdays and Sundays to talk about different things at Disney. And someone just returned from Disney. So Courtney, tell us a little bit about your trip.
So this was a Mickey Gras trip. Like Keely said, we both live in New Orleans. I'm from here. Keely's a transplant, but is basically a native at this point. And so every year during Mardi Gras, lots of people who live in New Orleans choose to leave the city, especially towards Mardi Gras, getting towards Mardi Gras Day. So that's Saturday, Sunday, Monday leading up to Mardi Gras, because at that point we've been parading for 2 weeks and people just need a break and everyone's off of school. There's typically, in a normal year, more businesses closed on Mardi Gras Day than on Christmas Day in New Orleans. So a lot of people leave. And we went to Disney World like we've done for the past 4 years or so. And it was a great trip. We took some of our friends who hadn't been since their honeymoon, so they hadn't been in 10 or 12 years, and their kids had not been ever. So in our travel party, we had 4 kids under the age of 5. We had a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, a almost 2-year-old who turns 2 in April, and a 7-month-old. So that, in the time of COVID, taught me a lot about traveling with kids. I'd previously only traveled with just my son. So times 4 in COVID was crazy, while the rest of the world was under a frozen tundra. But we had a lot of fun, and I have a lot of things to share with you tonight and in future episodes about traveling during COVID, especially traveling with kids in COVID. Keely, your sound went out again. There we go.
I'm back. Okay. Just gonna not touch it. Yeah, so in the chat, if you guys have questions for Courtney, just slide them on in there and I'll read some out, as long as she hasn't touched on it already. So just to guys give you some background, Courtney did travel with her kiddos by car. So this is a driving trip, not a flying trip. However, I flew to Disney in November. So if you have questions about flying during COVID, I'm happy to answer those too. So slide those in the chat. So to kick off, we usually have a wine or a cocktail to talk about. So in the spirit of Lent, and to do something a little bit different, and also because down here it has been like perfect spring, almost summer, 70 degrees. I have been out at the fly almost every day this week, and I got a nice little sunburn. I forgot you need to put sunscreen on when you go outside. So I'm behind the times right now. It feels like it's time for porch drinking. And again, it's Lent. And, we might be trying to work off a little bit of those king cake pounds or Disney pounds for both
True
of us.
that. True that. I gained 2 pounds in Disney.
That's really impressive, though. It's usually like way more for me than that. Plus, we've got another trip in 47 days.
Something like that. It's real close.
It's real close. So, and we've got a lot of things centered around pool time and stuff too. We're going to talk about that on a later episode. But some of us got to get ready for swimmy suit season.
Yeah.
So this episode couldn't have come at a perfect time. Ryan is there eating frozen custard. The real great thing for you teats, Mr. I eat 7 burgers a week, is one day you're going to be like 28 and you're going to wake up and the metabolism is going to be like, nah, it's time it's time to catch up. It's time to basically have your body be its own Culver's franchise. So get ready for that in a couple of years. So I
would be remiss if the religion teacher in me did not correct Keely earlier. She said it's Lent here in New Orleans. It's Lent everywhere worldwide.
I just realize it more now that I live here.
New Orleans is a very Catholic city. But yeah, it's Lent everywhere. And we got this idea because actually my gym is doing a dry 40 during Lent, and I was like, oh, this would be good to do once we get back from Disney World. And I texted Keely. This also allows you to double fist on a school night because it's, like you said, alcohol-free and sugar-free, saving those Weight Watchers points for our April trip.
Yes. So I'm pulling this off so I can see my share screen. I decided to go with 2 different cocktails. So the first one I'm going to start with is a Cucumber-Lime Nojito. So it's like a mojito, but it falls into the guidelines of no sugar and no alcohol. So I've made you guys another one of my really awesome, totally not awesome videos. So I'm going to walk you through how I made this Nojito. So if you go to any, Disney bar or especially the pool bars, there's always going to be a mojito on there. And we all know what a mojito is. So I decided to slim this one down. As you can see, all of the ingredients are just out there. A bottle of Topo Chico, cucumber slices, lime slices, and a handful of mint leaves. I went with like 6 to 7 mint leaves, but it really depends on how much you guys like mint. And so here we go. Let's Nojito. So you're going to start with a shaker glass and, pour the ice in there. Now, I wanted this to be more hinted, so I didn't muddle the cucumbers or the lime. I decided to leave them in slices because I did such a big glass, and I wanted it to kind of have time to settle and melt in. Here's my mint trick. Squeeze the leaves and then smack them, and then throw them in the shaker pint. That's going to open up the flavor, but not fuss them up too much where they turn brown right away, but you will get a lot of that mint flavor out of it. So you can see I'm just taking a couple of the leaves, I roll them, and then I clap them. You just clap your mint. And then about half the bottle of Topo Chico in there to start because Topo Chico is super, super effervescent. So you've got to be careful. Make sure you get the shaker top on real hard, like tighter than I did, because it will just pop out like you're about to see in just a second. And just shake it until the outside of the shaker pint is cold. I decided at this point to pour it in the glass and start kind of tossing it back and forth between the shaker pint and the glass with the rest of the Topo Chico to just kind of mix it up. If you want things a little bit more limey, you can always just squeeze an extra squeeze of lime on the top. But I liked it this way because, like I said, I did a big one. So as the ice melted, it still kept all the flavor. And I think it actually brought out more of the cucumber. But there you have it. The Cucumber Nojito. Like I said, so it's pretty much just flavor. It's flavored water, flavored sparkling water, but it's sugar free. These are all great ingredients for you. Just a little bit of acid, and it's another one that you can really play up how much lime and how much mint or how little you want and everything. So what do you think of this one?
It's really good. I've been very into Topo Chico this year. I discovered an alcoholic cocktail, ranch water, earlier this year. And I fell in love with it. And I've been having Topo Chico at my house like all the time. So this is great. It's super refreshing. And you said it's like flavored sparkling water. And I do drink a lot of LaCroix, however you say it. But this definitely tastes fresher. Like it tastes like something that's handmade. It has the same like essence of a flavored sparkling water, but you can tell that there is some effort put into it and that it's not just from a can. It takes it up a notch.
If you want to be a little bit more fussier with it, you can put all those ingredients in your shaker pint. And if you have a muddler or like the end of a wooden spoon, you can muddle it and then shake it up with ice in the Topo Chico, kind of like what I do in the next cocktail. Like I said, I really like, especially the minerality in the Topo Chico. It's almost like it kind of attacks the cucumber just a little bit and opens up the cucumber even more. So Topo Chico is a huge thing back in Texas. So, all of my girlfriends love Topo Chico. For a friend's 40th birthday, we bought her 40 cases of it and just filled her kitchen up with 40 cases of Topo Chico because it truly is like drinking like diamonds down your throat.
Yeah, it's
like you're not
so good.
You don't feel good. You may have a sore throat. You may have a stuffy nose. You may be a little bit under the booze weather. You just have a Topo Chico and it just kind of sets you right. It sets your day right. It sets your everything. Topo Chico is great. And, they do a couple different, I use traditional today. There's also a twist of lime and there's a grapefruit one too, which when we get back to doing cocktails with booze in them, I will show you a twist on your ranch water, which is a Paloma. And I think you will love that. So that was our first cocktail. The Cucumber-Lime Nojito. And so that was one lime sliced up and about half of a cucumber. But again, it's just how much you like. And like I said, I used 6 to 7 mint leaves, but it's really just your preference on mint. So we'll skip back to your trip for just a little bit.
Yeah.
And you guys stayed at a resort that you've previously stayed at before, but it was a whole new experience for you. And it's not just because of the COVID and the kids.
Right.
Correct?
It absolutely was. And I do already have a review of this written up and posted on crescentlakeclub.com. But we stayed at Saratoga Springs Resort. This was my second time staying there, second time in a 1-bedroom villa there. And the reason that we've stayed there twice at this point is because my mother-in-law has a lot of timeshare points with another company that we can exchange through RCI and stay there. And so for just a really small exchange fee, just a couple $100, we're able to stay in a 1-bedroom villa at a Disney resort on property, thankfully using my mother-in-law's timeshare points. So price point wise, if you own DVC or if you own timeshares with another company, price point wise, is it always going to be your best value? Pretty much always going to be your best value resort. But they have recently, they're in the process of renovating the entire resort. And so when we stayed 2 years ago, they were just starting the renovations or just about to start the renovations. And it was fine. It was nice. We had the king size bed, the pull out queen couch. It was a pull out couch 2 years ago in the unrenovated room. And it was fine. It was definitely dated. But we were on property and I was excited just to be there. Well, this time our friends that we traveled with, they got their room assignment first. And of course, I immediately checked it and I was like, ooh, I think they got a renovated room. And I had done a travel with number. I was hoping that we would be with them, near them. But I was getting really anxious because they had a renovated room and I was going to be a little upset if we didn't. Thankfully, we also had a renovated room and it was gorgeous.
It's like
absolutely gorgeous. Hardwood floors in like the living area, kitchen area, and then carpet in the bedroom, which I know that a lot of the deluxe resorts are going to all the hardwood, but there's something about waking up in the morning and and putting your feet on carpet as opposed to hardwood that I prefer. So I know that's a hot take. I know that's something that not everyone agrees with, but I really enjoy waking up to carpet. So that was just a little thing that I enjoyed. A few things that made it really great for our family. The bathroom is split, and a lot of the resorts on Disney property have split bathrooms now. It makes getting ready as a group a lot easier, but this bathroom is split into 3 areas. So you can essentially have 3 people getting ready at one time. There's a toilet in the water closet, and there's a section with a shower and a vanity, a single vanity, and then a section with a tub. And it's still a single vanity. It's a sink, but it's really wide. Like 2 people could easily, my husband and I could get ready in the morning at the vanity, even though there was only 1 sink. So that was incredible because in the room was me and my husband, our 2 kids, and my mom came along. So with that split bathroom, like it was so easy for all 5 of us to get ready in the morning and not feel like we're stepping over one another. And then bed-wise, there was a king-size bed in the bedroom with plenty of room for a pack and play for my 7-month-old, plenty of room to put the pack and play in and walk around. And then in the living room, the new addition was this twin fold-down bed in the living room, in addition to a full-size fold-down bed. And when those were folded down, when both were folded down, you could still walk in between, which in the unrenovated rooms 2 years ago, when you did the pull-out couch, you barely could walk through that living room. So whatever they did to reconfigure the space is phenomenal because now 5 people could easily sleep in that room, no problem, and have plenty of space to move around, even with all of the beds down and out and everything.
Like
and it's beautiful.
It just looks beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And we all can say that about our hotel rooms. Why? Because we don't have to decorate it. We don't have to clean those sheets. We don't have to clean those rooms. But when it's something that just has elements that kind of stick with you, like I want that vanity in the bathroom so bad. I don't have room for it here. It would never fit. I don't know where it would just never work for me. But that doesn't stop me from wanting it. So it's absolutely beautiful. So I dropped in the chat, I dropped the link to Courtney's review on crescentlakeclub.com so you can go read more about her stay at Saratoga Springs in a 1-bedroom. If you guys, so it's been 2 weeks since our last Wind Down Wednesday. Lots of stuff has happened. We didn't really have a blog 2 weeks ago, the last time we did a Wind Down Wednesday. So I'm really excited. You guys on our website, check out crescentlakeclub.com. We have all sorts of Disney news. It's mostly Disney and travel related news, but we also tap into some other things. You've probably found us here tonight off of our social media. So Teets is somewhere out there. He handles a lot of that, but he's also really, really great about breaking Disney news when it happens.
Great.
Yeah, it was fun for us this past week. So when Courtney was in Orlando at Walt Disney World is when the whole big surprise 50th celebration announcement was coming down. And, I've talked about this on other shows, but we all thought it was going to be like something big and it's going to be great. Courtney's there if we have to spring into action and report live on anything. And it was like the world's most boring announcement ever.
Here's some pretty fabric and here's some lighting.
Here's some lighting. Like we just branding and this is what we're doing so no one will complain about the moat around Cinderella's castle being drained. That's essentially what the long and short of it was. But you were able to, do and experience some other things, you gave us a really great idea of what crowd levels were like. So for anyone who's thinking of heading out for spring break, what kind of 35% do you think Mickey Gras was like?
It was definitely 35%. And that, so maybe we don't all know, but if you don't know, Disney is rarely at actual 100% capacity. That happens in like one, maybe two parks once, maybe twice a year. So even on what you think is like the busiest day of the year, they're not at 100% capacity. It's likely that they're around 30 or 40% capacity. Again, depending on when you go, depending on what park you're in, and different parks are going to feel that capacity differently. Like Magic Kingdom just has some bottleneck areas that no matter where you go, it's going to feel walking between Small World and Peter Pan's Flight. Unless the park is at like 2% capacity, it feels tight. That's just a bottleneck area that gets like that. Whereas walking around World Showcase, Epcot's able to handle that crowd a lot better. So even though the park was probably close to 30% capacity, again, I don't know for sure. I don't have those numbers. Disney doesn't release those numbers. World Showcase can handle that crowd so much better than Magic Kingdom can in certain areas. So by that sense, the crowdedness level, it definitely felt crowded at points. I would never say that I was like uncomfortable in the era of COVID. I felt like there was enough room for me to get away if I needed to. But it was certainly busy. But wait times for rides were still really reasonable, given past year's experiences during Mardi Gras break. We waited for Flight of Passage for less than an hour.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's like when I was there in November, I've only done Flight of Passage Fast Pass. So I've never seen the whole queue. So that was my first time. And then it's kind of, I feel like, and Teets may correct me, I'd have to go back and look, but I feel like that was like one of our first days was at Animal Kingdom. So it was, kind of the first day we were all back together again since January of last year.
Right.
So January of 2020, we went in November of 2020. And so it's like, time just flies by when you're at a place you've been thinking about for, 10 months.
Yeah.
Because of COVID. So, and it was cool to explore. So.
And I know this has been said by blogs, podcasts, Instagram posts, by everyone who has been to Disney since it reopened, but it's worth saying it again. The wait time based on the line length is so deceiving. Like you would walk up and you're like, Peter Pan's Flight? You're telling me I have to walk all the way through Columbia Harbor House, up the stairs and down the stairs and all the way through, and yet it's only like a 35-minute wait? You're joking. But it's not, because people are standing 6-ish, give or take 6 feet apart. Yeah, you cannot base your estimated wait time based on previous expectations of line length, like where the line ends. Because we waited for Haunted Mansion almost back at Splash Mountain, and it was like a 20-minute wait.
Yeah, so I want to say TC used the Touring Plans Lines app when we were there in November, and we'll definitely be using it again for our special trip in April. But it's a great way to give you an actual real time versus posted time. They're great in general in non-COVID times, but it really comes in handy, especially now that the lines are just zigzagging. They're so out in the open now because they're really trying to force the spacing. So you can kind of get a really great idea of what everything is doing. So I'm going to take a break and go back to our second cocktail because I see Courtney is drinking it now.
I am.
So our second, and this is for Winnie, she asked, I kind of picked these for mine because it's that we like to have poolside and stuff. She asked if any of these could also be made with alcohol. Yes, they can. This one obviously goes better with vodka. The mojito will go better with a light silver rum. But this is going to be a strawberry basil smash. And I'm going to serve it kind of up in a wine glass. And what you see again out here is all you will need for this cocktail. It is, I went with San Pellegrino, strawberries 6 to 8, just depending on how many strawberries you want, lemon, and then I did a chiffonade of 4 basil leaves, but you can go and do as much or as little basil as you want. And so we'll just kind of get started on this one. So again, I just went through everything. The only thing different you're going to need is a muddler. That's that stick that looks like a mallet on the end between the Pellegrino and the glass. And so you're just going to put all of your freshly cut strawberries. These are Ponchatoula strawberries from here in Louisiana. I cut the heads off, the leaves off, and I quartered them. And then, like I said, I did a chiffonade of basil and just dump that in there. You can leave a little leftover for garnish on the top if you're going for style points. And then really just smash it. And once you start working on the strawberries, you're going to see they're going to break down. And I hope you can see just how juicy that they're going to be. But you want to try and make it so those quarters of strawberries are almost down into like little square kind of cuts. Just squish it down so you're giving yourself some good strawberry basil juice. You can kind of see how smushed up and juicy they are. Then squeeze a quarter of lemon in there just to add a little bit of brightness to it. I learned my lesson from the last video on Pellegrino, so I'm going to go lighter on the Pellegrino. I'm going to let it bubble up a little bit first, and I'm going to make sure I put the top of the shaker on really good. It still came out a little bit on my hands, but And then just pour over ice. And there you go. That's the strawberry basil smash.
Yum, yum.
All right. So what do you think about that one?
So I love all things strawberry. I love Ponchatoula strawberries. It's so good. It's just all the flavors that I like. So 2 thumbs up from me on this one as well.
Yeah, so I liked this one. So I went ahead and muddled Courtney's strawberries and basil earlier today when I dropped it up by her house. So hers had a chance to macerate and break down a little bit more. So in that
I'll
case,
say the basil definitely comes through really heavy. Like I would probably add more strawberries or even, maybe even just a touch of like sugar or equal, depending on what you're doing.
So in fairness for hers, because I knew it was going to be in a container for a while and I was a little bit worried about it, I did put half a packet of Sweet and Low in Courtney's.
There we go. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So
and
you can always, like any
draw
of this
out
stuff,
more juice.
Yeah. And any of this stuff, you can do a squeeze of agave nectar or, again, a packet of Equal or Sweet and Low or just even regular sugar or a little bit of honey, a little bit of honeycomb in there. You'll find the sweetness level that you want with these cocktails. It's just finding that there's vegetables and fruit and herbs that all marry together really fantastically and refreshingly. So the craziest thing on this one was the Pellegrino, it's so bubbled up when I poured it in the shaker, but is not at all as bubbly in the cocktail as the Nojito was.
Yeah, I've been drinking on both intermittently, through this podcast, and like I can shake the Topo Chico and it still has bubbles and the Pellegrino doesn't. Like I'm shaking them both right here. But like that's what Topo Chico is known for, is all the bubbles. So it's not surprising.
Again, like I said, it's just like diamonds. Just diamonds.
Yeah, so good.
So these are great for drinking on the porch, You can mix them up in a big pitcher and you can take it to the pool. If you have one of those, you don't even have to use sparkling water. If you have one of those infusion water bottles, these are great fruit and herb combos to mix together in the infused water and just leave in your fridge. Another really good one is, just orange in general. But I think orange and mint also work really well together.
Mm-hmm.
And lemons and lavender are another one of my favorites. But I didn't want to go just completely
we have other weeks.
Yeah, I didn't want to go completely living on the land or living with the land on you guys tonight. Yeah. So I have more next week of I've got a bunch of clementines that I need to do something with. So
Yum.
I'll do something there. So now that we're on second drink, we'll kick it back to your stay at Disney and we'll start hitting the hard stuff. So you have 2 kids, an infant and a 5-year-old.
Yep.
The infant does not have to wear a mask. The 5-year-old does. And he is pretty used to wearing a mask back here at home.
He is. He is definitely used to wearing a mask. But at school, he doesn't have to wear it all day. He only has to wear it to and from. He has to wear it during his piano lessons. But he doesn't, there's never been a point where he's had to wear it all day. And his, no matter what mask I buy, they always just tend to slip down. Also, because this is really gross, but he's a 5-year-old boy. He likes to chew his mask. And then as he chews, it squishes and then it just falls down over his nose. And there was
Teeth probably does the same thing. So.
I mean, it's I remember the boys in grammar school chew their shirt, the ends of their sweatshirts. I don't know. It's a thing, I guess. But I was very nervous. No amount of bribing. I tried 4 different kinds of masks would get him to stop chewing the mask. Maybe I should have put, I don't know. I would say put pickle juice on it, but the boy loves pickles. There's no food even that I could have put on it. That's my child eats everything.
I was going to say, that's the one really great thing. And it just shows that he's a true NOLA kid is because he loves
everything.
Everything. He's not going to fight anything. He loves it.
So I was very nervous about that. And for the most part, he was good about the masks. But I'll say, I told him to pull his mask up more than cast members did. And so that's very, very different from the stories that I heard from people who traveled in 2020, families that I helped plan their travel, around Christmas, said they had a horrible time with their kids not being able to keep the mask up and having cast members correct them. So I don't know if we just lucked out, not in the sense that I was reminding him to pull his mask up. I don't know. Are they getting more lax on kids in the mask? I don't know. I don't know if that's the thing going on. But I think 3 times over the course of the week that we were there, did a cast member say hey bud, pull your mask up. They were never nasty about it. Cause he did it. I mean, right away he pulls it up. It just slips down cause he disgustingly chews it all day.
Well, and then sometimes, I don't have kids, obviously, and I'm not an educator around kids, but sometimes they also seem to respond a lot better and think about things a little 100%. Bit more when it's someone not their parents or that's 100%. With them. That's come on, buddy, right here.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah, 100%. And then so I need to start by saying what Disney's rules are. If you are eating or drinking, you need to be stationary and away from someone else. That is the rules. That's what's posted. That's what you sign off on when you sign the COVID waiver. That's the rules. I'm not trying to give you a workaround for the rules. I will say, if one of the kids grabbed a snack out of the bag and was seated in the stroller and was eating a snack, at no point did a cast member tell them to put their mask on. Again, I'm not telling you to break the rules. I'm not telling you this is how you get around the COVID rules. I'm just saying this was our experience, that that rule was not heavily enforced for the kids. Now, none of the adults tried it. Like when the adults were eating, we pulled off to the side. When we were drinking, we would pull off to the side. I'd maybe pull my mask up to take a sip of water, but like that's it. But for the kids who were sitting in the stroller, that was not enforced. I don't know. Again, maybe we were just lucky, but that was our experience.
I have seen, reports of parents too that it's, even cast members may have just said, "Hey, pull that sunshade down,
yeah,
just a little bit, and you're totally fine."
Or if you have a sit and stay, so we had the double bob, which I rented from Kingdom Strollers. Shout out. We had the double bob with the really big sunshade that you can pull down. So that happened sometimes. The other family we were with had a sit and stand where the kid's in the front, and then there's a little platform in the back where a kid can sit or stand. And so sometimes one of the kids was sitting on the back, facing the parent who was pushing them. So like at the grocery store. Right, exactly. But even further down because they're sitting like below the handle. So any air droplets or whatever that were coming out were going on to the parent. I don't know. So those were when the kids were moving and eating in those two situations, nobody said anything. Do not go to Disney World and try to do it and say, well, Courtney from Crescent Lake Club said that it was okay. I'm not saying it's okay. That was against Disney rules, and we never encouraged it with our kids. But if they pulled a snack out and started eating and it kept them from fussing, then we let it go.
Technically, their feet are stationary.
There's that, yeah.
Their body is moving, but their feet are stationary.
So,
I mean, that's why we all decided we're just going to rent a stroller in April and make Teets push it around with our bags in it. And then if one of us needs to sit down,
we can take turns. I
guess we could get a scooter. That might be more fun. But Teets pushing a stroller would be really fun too.
Yeah. So those were some of the COVID era, I guess, tips or experiences that I had.
Did you use the baby care center at any of the parks?
Baby care center was, by all accounts, unchanged from pre-COVID times. Every park has a baby care center. It's stocked with basic items that you might need if you've forgotten something, but it also has these big, beautiful changing tables, and it's quiet, and they have Disney lullabies playing. So if you just need to, you can go in there if you forgot something. You can go in there if your kid needs a break. If you're a nursing mother, if you need a break. If you're a nursing mother, they have private nursing rooms, microwaves and bottle warmers if you need to do that. I don't know, it's pretty comprehensive what they have in these baby care centers available for your use. We went in Hollywood and in Magic Kingdom because Mom of the Year here forgot to bring pureed food on 2 days. Even though I brought plenty to Orlando, it just forgot to make it into the bag for dinner for my daughter. But it's like $2 to buy it there, and they took my AP discount. So win-win.
Wow. So that's a tip I don't think I've seen anywhere. The baby center.
Baby care center will take an AP discount, and it's 30% right now. I was like, maybe I should buy all my baby food.
I was going to say, did you just stock up on baby food to bring back with you?
So, yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, baby care center, use your AP discount. Get that 10 or 30 or whatever they're offering % off.
So, and you guys stayed in a 1-bedroom, and it was you and your husband, your mom, your 5-year-old, and your infant daughter. Did you guys bring your own pack and play, or did you use one provided by Disney?
We used one provided by Disney. It was perfectly fine. They had plenty available.
Did you have any concerns about the cleanliness or sanitization or anything of that?
No. A cast member brought it to our room. It was packed up, and it was all wrapped up, and it had like a zip tie on the. So if you've never used a pack and play, it like wraps up and then this thing goes around it that is eventually the mattress. This like mattress folds around it. The mattress was zip tied.
I know how to put a pack and play together, which
Ooh.
would surprise everybody.
Yes.
If this was a Survivor challenge, they'd be like, "Oh, Keel, there's no way Keels is not winning."
Got it.
I got it in the bag. But continue.
Yeah. So they put a zip tie around the like mattress to let you know that it's been cleaned, and that it hasn't been tampered with. And then they provide a sheet cover, like a sheet for the mattress, and also another like crib bumper thing. If you want to use that, we didn't use the second thing, but those both came in bags that were like that let you know that they'd been sanitized, cleaned and sanitized. If you're really
the follow-up was going to be if you brought any of your own sheets or anything like that.
We didn't. But if you're really skeevy about stuff like that, I mean, we stayed in a villa that had a washing machine. But even if you stay in a hotel room at one of the resorts, there are washing machines everywhere. You could, if you really feel weird about it, or if your kid has sensitive skin and you need to wash it, because I'm sure they use some really highly astringent, highly sanitizing wash when they wash all of this stuff.
Something super granular too.
Yes. So if your kid has super sensitive skin, you could bring your draft or whatever and wash it yourself. Yes, that's a few extra steps, but that option's there for you, and the resources are there for you, whether you're in a villa or in a hotel room. So we used it, and then the other family that we were with also used it for their like almost 2-year-old. They were more nervous than we were. I mean, my daughter's pretty chill; she's pretty go with the flow. Because the other girl who used it was almost 2 years old, a little more strong in her opinions, I guess, and a little more like routine oriented. They were really nervous about being in a pack and play that's much smaller than her crib. She did fine. Again, that's going to be kid to kid basis, but in our 2 experiences with our 2 very different kids, they both slept perfectly fine in the pack and play. Awesome. That we got from Disney. Yep.
So I know you guys, when you got into town, you made a trip to Publix.
We did. We made a few trips to Publix, but yeah.
So for your trip to Publix, what did you guys buy to stock your villa with? Anything that you would recommend? Parents traveling in the time of COVID, just go ahead and think about that they pick up or have Instacart or garden grocery delivered to their resorts.
That's really a case by case, family by family situation. Food, there are plenty of food options available in the parks, in Disney Springs, in the resorts. Almost, if not everything, closes at 10 o'clock at night. So if your kid is going to stay up till 11 or 12 or whatever, or they're so hyped up and you know they're going to need a snack before they go to bed, or if you need a snack, or if you need a glass of wine before you go to bed, you need to have either bought that somewhere else or bought it at Publix.
Attention, dads, moms are people too.
Yeah.
And like 2 6-packs of beer and 2 bottles of wine are not going to last.
It's not enough.
You can always tell who does the shopping in the house when something like that happens.
Yes. So that's a huge tip, that like stuff just is not open as late, and there's not as many options. Menus are limited. So that's why I said it's a kind of a case by case basis. If you know you're going to get back from the park at 9 o'clock and your kids are going to go straight to bed and you're going to wake up and you're going to go get your Mickey waffles, then no, maybe you don't need anything from the grocery. But if you're a night owl, if your kids are night owls, if you need extra snacks, I definitely recommend doing Publix, doing an Instacart, doing an Amazon delivery of something to have either in your hotel room or in your villa. We bought
sometimes you just have to get in your car and go pick up cocktails for the adults like it's Mardi Gras Day.
Yeah. Mardi Gras Day, I went to Publix and restocked our alcohol at like 9 o'clock in the morning. I was buying like six packs of beer at Publix. It was pretty interesting.
I'm proud. I want you to know I'm proud of you.
I almost couldn't have done that in New Orleans.
You couldn't have done it in, well.
I could have gone to the grocery, but.
Yeah, you could have gone to the grocery, but that's it. Yeah. So you're faring better than I was down here.
Yeah. So we bought breakfast for our rooms. I went down to Artist Palette twice to get Mickey waffles because I couldn't have a trip to Disney without Mickey waffles. And then we bought snacks. We bought alcohol for our rooms. Water. We bought lots of water. Those were the main things. We tried to cook in the resort twice. One of them was kind of a failure, but that's for another time.
Oh no!
We had crunchy rice jambalaya. Most of us didn't eat.
You know what? It's because it's an electric stove.
Exactly. And we didn't have we didn't bring the big Magnolite that we make jambalaya in. And
yeah, you have to have a good pot and a good paddle and gas heat.
So, yeah, but that was a fail. But whatever. But it was.
Hey, at least you tried.
We tried, and it's a fully stocked kitchen. You can make whatever you want, but it is electric. If that changes your dining plan,
it's a huge deal to someone like me. But so. Yeah. You guys did do a character dining experience.
Yes, we did one. We did Garden Grill, which is, even in non-COVID times, one of my favorite. I think it's an underrated character meal. I think the food is really good and really fresh. It's served family style, pre and post-COVID, served family style. So they bring these big cast iron things to your table and everyone eats off of it. Salad, bread, dessert. That's for lunch and dinner, and then breakfast is your standard Mickey waffles, eggs, sausage, bacon.
Did they do just a ginormous cinnamon roll too, or something like that too?
For breakfast, that's like the dessert, because you need dessert for breakfast too. Mm-hmm. It's this ginormous cinnamon roll. It's so good, much better than the Gaston's Tavern cinnamon roll, in my opinion. So that's the dessert for breakfast. For lunch and dinner, it's blueberry. It's like a berry shortcake deliciousness. They usually bring out cookies for the kids too. And you can ask for as many cookies as you want. I think my husband asked for them to bring out more cookies twice. So I think we got 3 servings of cookies because they just kept eating them.
So where's my notepad? I'm gonna rethink what we're doing.
So
maybe we need a lot of cookies if we go in October.
Yeah. I haven't even brought that up yet. But with any family
I don't see him on here.
Meal,
I don't think he's watching.
With any family style meal, you can ask for either like a refresh of your full plate, or you can ask for something specific. Like we wanted more turkey with our meal. So we were like, can we just get some more turkey? And so they just brought us a plate of more turkey instead of the green beans as well, and the mashed potatoes and the steak. Oh, that steak was so good. They can bring out again the whole thing or more of just one specific thing.
Well, they did do this. So they did do that at Liberty Tree Tavern in November, because I think we asked for 2 or 3 plates of the macaroni and cheese.
Yeah. And so pre-COVID, the characters would come around, stop at your table, take a picture, sign autographs. Post-COVID, if you've never been to or seen Garden Grill, it rotates, and it's 2 levels, and the whole thing rotates. So post-COVID, they don't have anyone sitting at that top level, and the characters just come out. I think they came out 3 times in our meal, and we were only there for like 45 minutes. So I'm guessing they come out about every 15 to 20 minutes. And they just walk around and wave and do a little dance, and they pose. And I was able to get pictures that looked like they were standing at our table, just because of like how you could position yourself. So, the kids loved it because they got to stand up in the booth, which normally you're like, don't stand on the chair. But that was encouraged for them to stand up in the booth and turn around and see all the characters coming. Chip, Dale, Donald, and Mickey are at Garden Grill.
The VIPs. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have been there for breakfast multiple times and lunch and dinner multiple times. Usually during Festival of the Arts, that's our go-to to get the dining pass for the Broadway show.
Mm-hmm. No Broadway show this year.
Got to come back next year. I forgot what the official name is, but they have the Broadway stars singing Disney Broadway songs.
It's like it's not like Broadway does Disney.
It's like, or Disney does Broadway or something like that. It's phenomenal. I mean, but we always do the dining package to get those fast passes for the seating. And Garden Grill is one of the less expensive options for that, but it's also a really good meal. So that's what we normally do. And
I feel like Garden Grill is on point with Beer Garden as far as price point goes for all you can eat family style meals, especially at Epcot, because I was just offhandedly before, we have Wine Bar George brunch that day anyway, so we wouldn't be doing a lunch. But normally when I do drinking around the world at Epcot, Beer Garden is my preferred lunch stop over Via Napoli, because I think the price point is so much better. I love the seating. I love the communal aspect of it. I love the band play. It just kind of goes, and just the sheer theming inside of Beer Garden. So
feels
that's
like
you're right there. You're in Germany. This is why you came to Germany.
Yep.
And the only other place that gives me the same kind of feel is Garden Grill, because you turn around, it rotates. It's something that's so unique.
Yeah.
Especially, it's not even to anywhere else, but so unique to Disney, because what other restaurant does that? And then you get the characters, and then you get the food, and you get to see, like, so many items from the menu are made from products grown at the Land Pavilion.
Yes. So my
that's
son,
really cool too.
He has always loved Living with the Land. I don't get it, but whatever. It's an easy ride to go on, not a long wait. And like I said, we've gone to Garden Grill almost every trip we've ever gone on. And I think he forgot that you see, because we did the ride, then we went to lunch that day. I think he forgot that you see the ride, because as we're turning, he was like, he told his friends, we see the ride again. We get to, like, he got so excited and was so excited to tell his friends, like, look, that's the ride. And then they were like pointing things out. So then we had to go on the ride again, which was like, that ride's almost always a walk on anyway. So it didn't matter that we rode it. We did Living with the Land, Garden Grill, Living with the Land.
Hey, and you know what? It gives a lot of credence to the arguments from Disney purists about why are we taking all the educational entertainment options out of Epcot.
No, he loves it.
I'm not convinced they will entirely do it, and this is how we're going to get Teets back in the chat. But no, the land is in. There's just something about it. It's another one. It's not Horizon's level of cult fanaticism about it, but there are a lot of great memories of the land. Like, remember when you had an actual person spieling on the boat about the land?
Yes, I do.
Like, you know what? I don't need anything for the 50th anniversary. Just bring that back.
Bring back, and
the land boat drivers.
So one modification to what I just said: we did the land, we did lunch, and then we did rider swap for Soarin', while the moms took the kids on Living with the Land again. And rider swap is functioning pretty much the same. It's operating exactly the same as it did pre-COVID. So the dads went and waited in line. Moms got their bands scanned, took the kids on another ride that they couldn't go on. Both kids were tall enough for Soarin', but both of the older kids were tall enough, but they did not want to go on it. So
what was that?
Oh, my son went on it last year and cried the whole time. It was too high and too fast. He just kept saying, too high, too fast. So he remembered it. He has a pretty good memory, and did not want to go on it again. He wanted to do the land again. So the moms took the kids to the land again. We also went and did Nemo, the Seas with Nemo and Friends. And by the time we were done that, the dads had waited in line and ridden Soarin'. And then they took the kids for a nap, and the moms went on Soarin' without having to wait. So rider swap's great for that. We had rider swap a lot.
And then after rider swap on Soarin', Mom's Gone Wild, what did you do next?
Figment, and then we went to World Showcase. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So how was Festival of the Arts?
So I know on Sunday y'all were talking about, I think almost everyone who went to Festival of the Arts bought something at one of the booths. I will say and we went towards the end, I found that there were fewer booths, certainly fewer booths with anything I wanted to buy. I just didn't, I don't know, there wasn't anything that I saw. I've gotten something for my kids' rooms from Festival of the Arts, a piece of artwork for their rooms every year. And this year I didn't. There just wasn't anything that I wanted to spend the money on. And so that was kind of disappointing. The food was good. We ate at a few different booths. But that day was a little hectic. The front of Epcot's a hot mess. And so getting through all of that and then getting to World Showcase, by the time we got to Germany, the kids were we're done. So if you followed my Instagram stories, it didn't go much past Germany, because we ate at Regal Eagle and then kind of just trucked on through the end of World Showcase.
Don't you love how Regal Eagle is basically a daiquiri shop?
It's so good though.
So good. But yeah, it's when we went in November, I hadn't seen it before in real life. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go to this daiquiri shop. And Teets is like, that's Regal Eagle. I'm like, no, I want to go to the daiquiri shop. I just want to go there because all I see is just frozen drink machines. I'm like, I want to go there. And he's like, no, that's Regal Eagle. I'm like, no, that's inside.
Yeah.
Keels. I'm like,
so yeah.
Just give me whatever the pink slushy thing is.
The art booths were, I would say, not as great as in years past. But I'm not going to slide them for that with everything. We talked about missing the Disney Broadway thing. Mm-hmm. Voices of Liberty have returned, and we're doing the Disney songbook. So we listened to that. My mom listened to Voices of Liberty 3 times. She literally she didn't want to wait for Frozen. And so she's like, I'm just going to head over to America and
I'll just hang out and catch up with you guys later.
Huh?
And she's like, yeah, I'll catch up with you guys later.
Yeah. Yeah. And so she watched them 3 times, but that's what she does. But yeah.
So what was your daughter's first Disney ride? Other than the stroller.
Yeah, other than the stroller. It was the safari in Animal Kingdom. And she was wide-eyed. I think she eventually fell asleep. We had a lot of, it was probably the longest safari ride that I've ever gone on because it was about to rain. So the giraffes were all headed to the trees, but literally all the giraffes were headed towards the trees. So they couldn't, the ride vehicles were just stopped waiting for the giraffes to cross the road.
You had a giraffic jam.
We had a giraffic jam, a major giraffic jam. So she fell asleep at that point. But yeah, it was, that was one of the only rides she could ride in Animal Kingdom.
So how was it traveling with an infant?
This is a situation where you have to know your child. I love my son. He's fabulous and hilarious and has so much energy, but I could not have taken
his greatness, but yeah,
I could not have taken him as a 7-month-old. My daughter is chill, and can sleep anywhere and doesn't cry and doesn't squirm and is they're so different already. And so I knew that taking her would be different than if I had tried to take my son. We didn't take my son until he was 17 months old. So you just have to know your kid and whether they can handle it. And if they could hang all day in the parks. On our last day, Magic Kingdom, it opened at 9 and closed at 10. So we knew we were looking at a 13-hour park day. And my son's done it before. He loves it. Our last ride, we generally try to do Small World as our last ride, like at park closing. My son fell asleep on It's a Small World, which was great. And my daughter was like, she woke up when we got into the boat and was just like wide-eyed and watching all night. So like she could hang. She fell asleep in her stroller, no problem. She slept through our dinner. Like that's her personality. And so you have to know your kids and know if they can handle that. And even, a less chill child could probably do it. You just have to plan your trip differently and plan your breaks or plan your time in the child care center to chill out or whatever the case may be. But I've traveled now with multiple kids and multiple different personalities of kids, and I feel very confident in being able to help you plan that out if you're looking to travel with kids anytime soon.
Especially now that Disney has their 2022 packages available.
Sure enough.
You want to talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Last week, they announced that they were releasing packages for 2022. So you can book a Disney vacation 500 days in advance on a rolling basis. So I don't know what whatever 500 days from now is, you can book up to that date and you can book your length of stay up to 14 days. So you can, I guess, book a full trip for 514 days out.
Hey Siri, what is 500 days from today?
It's Saturday, July 9th, 2022.
Wow. So you can book through July 9th of 2022. And this is a big deal because generally Disney doesn't release the next calendar year until June, like early June, right?
Yeah.
In the past. So this is months early. But I think Disney feels, and I certainly feel, people are itching. People are getting their vaccinations. People are getting more comfortable with the idea of traveling. And why not book the Disney vacation, start making payments on it now. Yeah, woohoo! I get my first shot on Friday. But yeah, start making your payments on it now. All it takes is a $200 deposit, and you can book the vacation of your dreams today and make payments on it from now until you travel. Start saving those pennies or whatever you need to do. And get out that travel itch that you've had to suppress for the past year. We're coming up on a year since lockdown. So people are itching to travel. I was feeling it. Like, I was excited to go back to Disney, but I was excited just to go somewhere. And
so, again, for the record, Courtney went by car to Florida. She has not received a vaccine. Her husband has been vaccinated. Your mother has not.
My mother is not. The other family we traveled with, neither one of them have received the vaccine, but one of them had it, so she has antibodies. We assume she has antibodies.
And again, so they drove, and also the great thing that I think people don't mention so much. Now, I don't know what it's like at the values and certain moderates, and that may be why we haven't seen them be open just yet in this time of COVID. But where you guys stayed is the return receptacle for the HVAC unit is independent in each room. So if you're worried about someone staying in a room next to you or 4 doors down or having COVID and you're just sharing the same recycled air, a lot of these newer built places or recently remodeled, or even like the villas and suites that incorporate multiple rooms or living spaces, have their own air return receptacles. You'll usually see them like at a wall by where the kitchenette is. It's what the little vent is on the outside of a wall. So you know that all the air, it's still being recycled throughout your suite, but at least it's just in your room behind that door, not everyone else within the entire resort. So if that's a concern, it's something to think about. But also all resorts, Disney, Universal, Marriott, Hilton, Hyatt, are taking really great steps to make sure that the cleanliness. You're going to find your TV remote in a little bag, so you know that it's been sterilized and put in there by someone who's wearing gloves. It's fine.
It smelled like sanitizer when we walked in the room for the first time.
Yeah,
like it smelled
like
cleaning
Fabuloso,
products. Yes.
or it smells like Fabuloso when you. So
Yeah.
if that's one of rooms don't get to smell like Poly or Beach Club or anything like that. Rooms smell like rooms, but
you could tell that it was clean.
But y'all have to know, you have to love walking into your own house or your own kitchen or your own bedroom, and it smells like fresh sheets and Fabuloso.
Yeah.
Because you just know, like, it is just that smell of clean and perfect and ready for me. And like I said, in November, we stayed both at Disney and Universal, and we felt the same way at both properties. So they really are taking the whole cleanliness, sanitization, everything super seriously. So any last tips? Anything you would do to sway people who are on the fence about, should I travel, should I not, should I wait until there are no masks?
So I'll be quite honest. My husband would wait to go again. He's not like, the fact that I'm going in April, he's not jealous of that. So that's him. It's a fact of life right now. I mean, we've been wearing a mask for 10 months at this point. Like, it is what it is. I felt completely safe. There was hand sanitizer everywhere. Like I said, the room smelled like it had just been cleaned. Every Disney cast member was wearing one, if not two masks. Plenty of them had the mask and also the face shield on. Plenty of plexiglass everywhere. Like, I felt safe. Now, granted, I'm not a high-risk category. I'm fairly healthy. I know that my husband's vaccinated. I'm a teacher by day, so I've been around people all day, every day since August. So, like, the fact that I was around people didn't bother me, because I'm around people all the time. And I know how to keep myself safe and how to keep my kids safe. But Disney is going above and beyond to do their part. My mom commented that, like, all of the energy that Disney puts into making your trip magical, they're putting that much energy into making your trip safe. She felt like it, I thought that was a really good way to put it, that they're used to going above and beyond to make your trip magical. And now they're also doing that to make your trip safe. And
it's just like, it's basic stuff. Take your hand sanitizer. For me, my pro tip is, on Amazon, you can always find them, the KN95 masks that stick out a little bit further. Otherwise, just use the blue paper masks during the day if you get sweaty or you think it's too hot and sneeze. Or if it's going to be a rainy day, keep a Ziploc with 5 or 6 of them in your backpack or your waist pack. And then just when you start to feel gross wearing the mask, it's just like sheets. Pull that off, throw it in the trash, and put another fresh one on and pinch the nose. And you are just right back to feeling like a normal human being.
Yeah.
And
so
go ahead.
No, I was just one other comment. Like, you go to Walmart, you go to the grocery store, you go whatever. And they tell the employees you have to wear your mask on. And half the employees have it below their nose as a chin strap, whatever. I did not see a single cast member wearing their mask improperly. And so that, they know what they're doing there.
So I'll probably publish it on Friday, but if you go to crescentlakeclub.com on our blog, our news section, I'll do a list of just links of all of our favorite travel supplies, from travel backpacks and purses to masks and gloves and face shields and everything you need to feel safe starting to travel and just get out of your normal bubble, and as we ease into resuming life as it used to be.
Yeah.
I think it's still like a sideways-ish. So now that you've been back to Disney, you've got a little bit of a taste of it, but we're going back for an adults only trip in April. What are you most looking forward to on this trip and the April trip that you didn't get to do on your grand triumphant return to Disney trip?
Super excited about our boathouse brunch sing along. If you haven't, like, theater nerd at heart, Keely, tell us about this sing along that I cannot wait for.
So first of all, the menu is basically everything. It's everything from the.
It's 44 days, by the way.
44 days. 44 days.
That's for me, so it's 43 for you.
But that just means I'm that closer to another 4.
It's just a number. It's just a number.
We won't talk about it. So I love the boathouse in general. I love brunch in general because I'm a Southerner, and we just love brunch. I love bits, which is why I'm doing a Disney stream multiple days a week. So when Boathouse announced that they were doing Captain's Sing-Along Brunch and that it's dueling pianos with a Southern brunch and you get a free mimosa if you're wearing a captain's hat.
Yes.
And it's only on Sunday and my 40th birthday is a Sunday. So
costumes, sing-along, mimosas, brunch, themes.
So this is airing on his YouTube stream. So like Angela and I bandied about what our whole I thought she would be. I knew Courtney was going to be excited. I knew Whitty would be excited. I knew Leslie was going to be excited. I thought Angela would be excited. I told her about it when I finally got her on the phone, and she was the 180 from excited. She's like, I'm going to need to see a menu. Okay. I'm going to need to see what's going on. I'm like,
Nope.
You know what's going on is you're putting on a captain's hat and you're going to Boathouse.
Yeah.
But then we got to start talking about all of our outfits, and everyone who knows me knows I love outfits. You saw all of our Teetsing Around the World videos, and we matched every day. So we're all going to be wearing our captain's hats with Crescent Lake Club boat crew shirts that I've made, except for one little skipper. His name's Teets. So we all have captain's hats, except he has like just a little regular sailor hat, and it says Little Skipper on it. And I got a blue t-shirt with like the collar and the little red necktie, and red necktie, not a red necktie. And he's like, oh my gosh, I've worn this outfit before when I was little. I'm like, perfect.
I mean, what kid doesn't have a sailor outfit?
So we always joke every time we go as a group of gals with just Teets. Everyone looks at us and wonders, so what's at play here? Like, is this a little brother? Or is this a Make-A-Wish kid? What are we going at? It was just like when we wore our Christmas outfits at Magic Kingdom, and so he's Ryan is back watching now. It was just like when we wore our Christmas outfits and we were trying to get our picture taken, and Ryan got to be in the center and do all the magic shots, but all he could focus on was the guy Disney bounding as Christmas Big Al from the Country Bears.
So that's definitely what I'm most excited about.
I'm so excited. So yeah,
I was also
it's the 2 piano players from Jelly Rolls are coming back on Sunday. Yeah. I'm so excited.
I was also sending Keely some backpack and crossbody bag options since I don't have to pack a diaper bag. I need to know what bag to bring. So I'm thinking about getting this flare backpack from Shop Disney.
Do you do pins? I haven't
decided yet. Fletcher, my son does pins, so I could definitely steal a few from him. But I just like the style of the backpack.
But it could come in handy on future trips if you just bring him, and then he can just you just bend down and he puts his pin on there.
Yeah, he's getting old enough to carry his own backpack too. So We'll see. But those are some of the things I'm excited about, and celebrating Keely's birthday.
21st.
Yeah.
The 19th anniversary of my
Your
21st birthday.
Yep.
No, I'm the Boathouse Brunch, and then I saw all the vlogs that I love reviewed it this week, and absolutely adored it. The food looks great. It's basically the Ruby Slipper menu, so I'm excited about it. Cocktails look awesome.
I'm sure we'll go live in our ridiculousness.
Oh my gosh, no. That'll be something we talk about. Is I feel like for our trip we will stream something live, since the entire Crescent Lake Club will be together.
Woohoo!
For a weekend. We will be live streaming at least for a portion of every day. And then Courtney and I have talked, we've got some special plans for live streams in the works that we're trying to figure out how to make it work.
Basically, I'm trying to figure out how often I can go to Disney this year to make up for lost time. Literally every day this week, I've been like, what about this, Keely? What about this?
And I'm like, yep. I feel like there's a way we can get out there once a month.
You have to bring that up with my husband, but yeah.
We'll bring the baby with us. We'll bring the baby with us.
Done. She's free. Under 3 is free.
Yeah. So, and I don't know if you guys know this. Here's our other pro tip that we shared with y'all 2 years ago on Instagram is if Spirit or Frontier Airlines flies to Orlando from your airport, suck it up, drive out there, and you can get a round trip ticket for $19.
$19.
They waive all of the fees, and you just pay the fare and what they have to pay the government. We've done this a couple times now. And
it's
Frontier,
perfect for a weekend trip. It's perfect for a 1 day, 12-hour trip, maybe?
Maybe. Who's thinking about that? I don't know. Maybe us. But it's, if you don't mind traveling in a backpack and not picking your seat, for us, it's really easy because the flight, it says it's an hour and a half, but it really is an hour, if that. Yeah. Just enough time for me to drink the snuck-on booze I made in the airport terminal.
Make sure it's in a
cup. Or
with a lid.
A cup with a lid. No, a cup with a lid. Or put it back in the original bottle. Or I've just started taking an empty swell bottle and I just mix it in the seats.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't just walk on with a cup like this.
Not anymore. And the one time she tried to do it, she's like, but this is New Orleans.
There's been multiple times in my life that like my true New Orleanian shows through, because it's like, what do you mean I can't just walk around with a drink in my hand? Going to school in Chicago, encountered that multiple times, trying to get on an airplane with a open container.
Well, it's just like work. 2 years ago, I was having lunch at Brown Derby Lounge with a friend. I'm like, yeah, I'll go ahead and take the check. It's on me. And I want another glass of this Sauvignon Blanc in plastic. And my friend goes, what? I'm like, I'm sorry. It's just a reflex. He goes, are they going to do that? I'm like, you'll see. And sure enough, she came back with a check and a little plastic glass of Sauvignon Blanc.
I asked for, I forgot where we were, but I asked for a Go Cup and they gave it to me, no problem. So,
look,
yeah, good to go.
We've got so many pro tips for you guys coming up on more Wind Down Wednesdays that, things we've learned here in New Orleans that you guys haven't experienced yet, but Disney does offer to you. Mm-hmm. A lot of it is like walk around drinks, especially at like Disney Springs and stuff like that too. So I'll make a list.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to be it for this Wind Down Wednesday. So from Courtney, That's Nola Disney Mama right over here.
Same handle on Instagram.
Same handle on Instagram. I'm Keels. Same handle on Instagram. We are members of the Crescent Lake Club. You can find us at crescentlakeclub.com. Crescent Lake Club here on YouTube, on Twitch. If you're watching us on Twitch, hit that purple follow button. You'll get alerts every time I go live. We usually throw in a happiest hour sometimes during the week. If you're on YouTube, we would absolutely love it if you guys would subscribe and then like this video. I'm going to repost it again with a bunch of links so you guys can see everything we've been talking about. And we'll see y'all real soon.
See you real soon. Bye.